What's going on, guys? It's Thomas DeLauer, and I'm here with Dr. Landon Pryor, who is a board-certified physician and surgeon out in Illinois and soon to be out here in California. And the purpose of this video is to really address some things that people have been bringing up a lot lately, and one of which is, where did I get my nutrition knowledge? Because I'm not a doctor. But also, what is it with the medical community? Does the medical community truly understand nutrition like we think they do? Or is it really just kind of a really ambiguous thing that not a lot of people know about? So I brought an awesome expert that I've been friends with for a long time and someone that I've personally coached for quite a while as well, to really talk about his transformation, but also talk about my background in healthcare so that you have an understanding of where I come from with some of this knowledge and where I've been in the industry. But I want to get to that in a little bit. I want to turn the tables over to you as someone that's a medical professional, a physician, a surgeon, an amazing board certified, just absolutely recognized in the medical community. But tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into what you're doing and why you really had to make that change for your health as well.
So yeah, I'm a plastic surgeon, and like Thomas alluded to, nutrition is one of those things that, in my experience, and I have a lot of friends in the medical community that are doctors and surgeons, and as far as I know, none of us were ever appropriately trained or educated on nutrition. So it's one of those things that, regardless of whether you're a medical professional or just somebody that's looking to improve your lifestyle by learning what you can, there's a lot of misinformation out there. And it's important to educate yourself, because just because your doctor tells you something doesn't always make it 100% accurate. I think the medical community in general tries to do their very best to be an advocate for their patients and give them all the best information that they have, but if they don't have the right information, then they're not going to be able to help anybody. And in my experience, nutrition especially is one of those gray areas where a lot of doctors just fall short and they don't know what to recommend. So they either recommend nothing or they make inappropriate recommendations. We were just talking about earlier today how the dietary guidelines were shaped by recommendations formed in the 60s and 70s that, come to find out decades later, were influenced by big companies that were funding a lot of these studies. And I don't think that's uncommon in the medical industry. And it's a shame, but the reality of it is that it does, in my opinion, drive some of these recommendations, and it's important to get your information organically, if you will.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
So to tack on with what he's saying, a lot of it comes down to the fact that, of course, you have to take your own education in your own hands. You truly have to be your own advocate. You have to cite your sources. You have to cite your sources. And on that note, I want to explain a little bit of my background too, and also then bridging over to how Landon and I connected and how we're able to bring some of this content to you. So a lot of people ask, is my background in nutrition? No, my background is actually in psychology, but here's how I learned a lot of my nutrition knowledge, and it's important that you know this. I come from a healthcare background, okay? So I was a physician recruiter and an executive recruiter for a long period of time, and then I owned an ancillary lab services company. And what that means is provided lab services and ancillary lab services to physicians, to doctors, to surgeons, to medical groups, all in a way to be able to help them provide the best service possible as far as lab testing was concerned and things like that. Well, here's the thing. Working with doctors that were really trying to put their best foot forward for a lot of my career, I found that a lot of doctors worked on what's called fee-for-service or concierge medicine, where they were helping patients outside of insurance reimbursable, basically meaning they weren't going through the typical, you go to the doctor and they bill your insurance. They were working with patients that were paying cash. Now, why does this matter? Simply because those doctors weren't necessarily influenced by pharma. They weren't necessarily influenced by traditional medical journals. They were influenced more on good research and what was working at the time. So me working so closely with a lot of these physicians, I learned a lot of really important nutrition knowledge, and also learned the physiology and the pathophysiology that really goes in to making someone healthy and truly understanding and learning from the best. And that's why I started the channel. That's why I have what I have up here. That's why I'm able to share this information with you, because I've been there firsthand and I've worked with the best. And I can totally attest that Landon is one of the most out of the box or outside of the box thinkers when it comes to medicine, when it comes to surgery, when it comes to just really being a pioneer in the healthcare space and the health space in general. I mean, it's not very often that you find a doctor or a surgeon that is able to take a step outside of the box and say, wait a minute, just because the medical community always says it's right doesn't mean that it's the best way. And not discounting the medical community by any
No,
means.
absolutely. I mean, there's certainly great doctors out there, and there's certainly a need for good medicine, but it doesn't mean that, like we said earlier, everything that your doctor tells you is 100% accurate or always the best to just follow the recommendations blindly. You always need to be your own best advocate, do your research, and that's actually how I came across Thomas, because even after 17 years of medical education and training, I still knew nothing about nutrition. I thought I knew a little bit about it, but in reality I didn't. And in my opinion, Thomas is the best expert on nutrition, and non-physician expert on nutrition on the internet. And you won't find anybody else that really understands it and researches it on a cellular level to the extent that he does. And he really understands it on a molecular level better than any physician that I've ever encountered. So I partnered with Thomas personally, actually, to try to feel better myself. About a year and a half ago, I was 35 pounds heavier. I didn't think I looked good. I didn't feel good. I didn't have the energy to do my best job as a professional or take my best care of patients. I didn't eat healthy. I didn't make good lifestyle choices. I didn't go to the gym. And I really needed a jump start. So that's how I found Thomas and found his work and partnered with him. And he's really helped me learn more about nutrition and make better choices so that I can do a better job in my own personal life and in my professional life.
And that's one of the reasons why I enjoy working with you so much, though, is because you're someone, like I mentioned before, that's able to take that step outside the box and understand that, a lot of doctors have egos. They have big egos, they have chips on their shoulders, and you struck me as someone that didn't. And you struck me as someone that really wanted to make a change for the better. And the big thing with you is you wanted to be able to parlay that over to your patients. And I just think that you're paving the way for nutrition, but also for healthcare and for other doctors that truly need to make a change for themselves before they can ultimately help their patients.
Yeah, we've talked about that. I mean, in general, doctors are the worst patients, and it's most of the time no fault of their own, having gone through the education and training. I mean, it's rigorous, it's stressful. We've got stress coming at us from every angle. In your personal life, in your professional life, you've got regulatory bodies, you got malpractice, you got a business to run, you got patients to see, you've got debt from medical school and training, and being a doctor is a stressful lifestyle, and I understand why it's hard for doctors and a lot of professionals to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and it's really unfortunate. I fortunately made the concerted effort and choice to take control of my own destiny and seek out Thomas and improve my own lifestyle, but it's a tough choice to make because it's never a priority, and when you're stressed out and tired and don't feel good, it's hard to make good decisions.
Yeah, definitely. And that applies for anyone that's stressed out, not just physicians and not just anyone going through med school. It's the fact is we are all victims of a very chaotic life and a chaotic world right now. And we have stress coming at us from every single angle. And it has been and it will continue to be, my mission with this channel to bring the best information that you can decipher and digest in a very easy to understand way, so that, quite frankly, you can cut through the noise and get down to the grassroots of what's really going to make you a better performer, a better business person, a better family person, and ultimately just the best possible version of yourself.
And I think that's really important. It's in everybody to be their best version of themselves, and that's their God-given right to express themselves fully and be able to enjoy every day. And it's really only in the last year and a half that I've really started to feel like myself again after improving my lifestyle. And it's something that, as a plastic surgeon, I do in a different form. I help people feel better about their appearance, but it's in a lot of ways similar to what you do by helping people transform themselves from the inside out, and they work together synergistically so that people can maintain healthier lifestyles and hopefully live longer, healthier lives.
It's an inverse relationship with the same end goal. So, as always, make sure that you comment and let me know what videos you want to see in the future, specifically videos that I can do with the amazing Dr. Landon Pryor. So,
thank you.
Thank you.